Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your host today. We're going to be discussing the future of Amazon and even e-commerce in general. What's it look like? Here we are winding down 2023, getting ready to launch into 2024. What a crazy fast year that was, right? Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know, but wow, it seems like the months just fly by. But the future is bright. That's the good news. And we have ample evidence of this. The skill set that you are developing as an e commerce business building warrior is, from my vantage point, and I've got a lot of evidence to support this, one of, if not the most valuable skill set you could have if you're looking for a flexible income, a flexible lifestyle, working from home, taking your business with you in your pocket, being mobile, being able to go anywhere in the world and your business keeps on rocking. The e-commerce skills that we teach around here have a very bright future. I'm going to talk about what some of those are. I'm going to share with you some numbers and some facts and some data, but let's start here. If you're new to this show, maybe this is one of the first programs you've heard, we're very proud of the fact that with over 700 podcast episodes recorded, about 80% of those episodes or more are interviews with people who are doing the very things that I'm about to tell you about. Are successful students from the Proven Amazon course, for example. The Proven Amazon course is a library of every possible strategy we'll ever need to succeed on Amazon. We don't teach it all to new sellers. However, we start all the new sellers out at pretty much the same place. 95% of the time, new sellers need to start at the same place. With e-commerce in general, in my opinion, new sellers should be learning the Amazon landscape because Amazon represents half of all sales online in the United States pretty much every day. Like they are the monster in the room. The next 4 or 5 biggest players in e-commerce combined aren't as big as Amazon is. That's where the eyeballs are. That's why we focus on it so much. We don't focus on Amazon because I'm some kind of, Jeff Bezos fan. Cool dude, accomplished some great stuff, but I love the opportunity. That's why I'm excited about Amazon because I feel as if we've proven with over 10,000 coaching students served over 20 years, thousands and thousands of students using our courses and training and our free content, 100,000 or so people listening to this podcast, downloading it every month. We've proven we're capable of teaching you how to succeed if you follow the plan, the program that we've laid out. So we keep all that stuff that's kind of over your head as a new seller, we keep it off your radar. You'll learn that as you need it. So this Proven Amazon course is what you need when you need it. We call it real-time education or just-in-time education instead of just in case. We're not going to fill your head with a bunch of stuff you might need to know someday on day one. No, we're going to fill your head with what you need to know today to do the tasks ahead of you today. Whether you get a coach on our team or whether you use the Proven Amazon course or whether you just listen to this free podcast, so many people have gone on to succeed just using our free content. We love that. Fantastic. We welcome it. And we're excited to have every success story student and anyone who's struggling in our community so we can support each other and continue to grow. But I said I was going to give you some numbers. So we learned recently at Amazon, I was at Amazon Accelerate out in Seattle, about 2,500 or so sellers from around the world gathered there. One of the first things they told us when they opened up the event, Claire O'Donnell, she opened up the event. And she is the one who's in charge at Amazon of all seller-facing employees at Amazon. So anyone who supports sellers, she's in charge of them. She opened up the event. One of the first things she told us was about 60% or over 60% actually of all sales happening on Amazon every day are third-party sellers like you, like me, like anyone else who wants to jump on and start growing on that platform, which is growing dramatically. More and more people are shopping online. If we go back in time, just 5 years ago, it was about 7 or 8% of all retail in the US was online. Hard to believe, isn't it? You jump forward to today, thanks mainly to COVID and to some other things, the craziness in the world. The crazier the world gets, the more people like staying home, staying safe, and shopping online. Those trends are going to continue. So we're at about 16 or so percent of all retail activity in the United States is now online. Most people guess far higher than that, but that's not the case. Only about 16, 17% of retail activity in the US is online. And about half of that's Amazon. Remember, I said that earlier. But there's a lot of growth to come in the future. That 16, 17% will soon be 18, 20, 25, even 30 within the next 5 to 10 years. Those are the projections. The game has not even begun yet. So for the people who are saying, oh, no, it's saturated, it's harder than it used to be. I've been hearing the it's harder than it used to be crowd for 21 years. That's just the voices you're going to have to overcome. You're going to have people saying, oh, shouldn't you just have the stability of a real job? Or you're not really using your college degree for that online stuff now, are you? Are you sure that's what you want to do with your life? Or, man, it's just not as easy as it used to be. Or, I know a person who knows a guy who heard a story about a guy who this happened to him, and I would just stay away from all of that. Well, the way we combat that kind of negativity and uncertainty, which by the way, any business is going to have that pushback. Talk to anyone who's owned a business for, say, 5 or 10 years. You're going to hear horror stories. You're going to hear battle scars at times when they almost quit. That's just owning a business. If you weren't aware of that, yeah, welcome to reality. That's the world of business. You have to be a warrior. You show me someone who's run a profitable business for 5 to 10 years or more, I'll show you a warrior, right? Those are really good people to get to know, by the way. If someone can run a profitable business with happy customers and happy employees, happy workers, happy vendors, people they work with, right? They're keeping everybody happy and getting paid themselves while providing a great service to a customer. Man, that's a warrior. That's someone you need to get to know. That's someone that you can learn from because it's never easy, including Amazon. But from my perspective, just looking at my own business, just looking at the business of the 60 coaches on our team, which by the way, they are all using the strategies that we teach here to build beautiful businesses. That's the only way you can even start to be a coach on our team is to build a beautiful business with these strategies. I look at their businesses. Yeah, there's struggles, there's uncertainties, there's things that are changing, there's little challenges here and there. But overall, I have never been more bullish or excited about the future of the e-commerce opportunities, Amazon opportunities, making money online. Our flagship phrase around here for over 20 years has been using the internet creatively to launch and grow multiple streams of income. I've never been more excited about the possibilities than I am right now. Here we are in Q4 of 2023. 2024 will be huge. But Jim, what about this? But Jim, what about that? Amazon changed this poly, but what about this new requirement? What about this? I heard this new thing with receipts. It's all going to be okay. Amazon needs third party sellers more than they ever have. We make up 60% of the sales activity on their platform. They've got big growth plans ahead. They are dominating, they're building out their delivery networks. They're very quickly becoming a company that delivers products from point A to B more than a company that competes on launching products. They want to be the delivery mechanism. They know that's where their opportunity is, and they'll let us, as third party sellers, fill their shelves. More and more, that's true. That's the trend into the future. Am I saying that Amazon's never going to compete with you on an ASIN? No, of course not. Competition, the margin monsters are coming. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're making money hand over fist at a business, there's going to be someone else come alongside and try to make some of that money serving customers better than you are. Welcome to the world of business. Competition will always be there. But this is such an expanding blue ocean. The ocean's not shrinking, it's growing rapidly. I'm going to give you plenty of evidence of that. Just at the end of today's episode, I'm going to bring on a guest. It's one of the great vendors that we work with in our community. They're called ACRWME. They tell a story of a very specific story of how, with some outside funding from them, it's actually one of the coaches on our team grew their business dramatically, very quickly. Went from having about $5,000 a month in profit, net profit, to tens of thousands of dollars a month in net profit in just a couple of years because they were able to get some outside funding using the strategies that we teach here. The opportunities are there. It will probably involve diversifying at some point. It will probably involve looking at some other strategies that maybe you haven't considered. Those strategies are going to complement, however, the skills that you already have. It's always going to involve you using your relationship skills a little bit more, your voice, getting on Zoom, making some phone calls, doing some new partnerships, doing some new joint ventures with some people, having a community. That's what leads you into these other opportunities. I just talked earlier this week with someone on our team. They're doing about $3 million a year. That's incredible. $3 million a year with just the replens model. That's it. the proven Amazon course replens model, they're doing 3 million a year. I didn't know how big their business was. I knew they were doing okay. Checked in with them. They're doing 3 million a year. Got a beautiful team cranking, just cranking. Yeah, they're seeing the IP complaints. Yeah, they have the occasional receipt request from Amazon. Yeah, they have to be cautious which inventory they're buying. Yeah, they've accidentally sold on a few ASINs they shouldn't have, and they've had to turn those off. Yeah, they see some price competition on some of their ASINs, and they turn them off for a while. Part of the magic of what he's doing, actually, and I'll be interviewing him soon enough and talking about some of the things he's doing so we can all learn, but is they revisit all their old ASINs frequently. If it used to work, odds are it will work again at some point in the future. So they very systematically keep track of all those old ASINs. That's how they've been able to build this incredible business. If you've been selling replens for any length of time, there's gold in those old ASINs that you used to sell. Go back, look at them from time to time, build a system to make sure you do that. He's got some tools that are helping him do that. All things we're going to be telling you about in the future around here. One of the many, many reasons I'm so excited about this community. So if you're new around here, let me just make one little announcement. We're going to start you with the Amazon Replens model. That's the flagship starting point for all new sellers in our community, unless you have a really, 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 really good reason to go with another model. And one of those reasons that isn't a good reason is, I just don't like it. We don't care what you like. We want you to make some profit while you're learning the system. We want you to learn how things work before you start putting money at risk. We want you getting paid while you learn. And the greatest opportunity you have to do that is the Amazon Replen system. Now, you don't have to stay there. You can certainly scale beyond it. But like the gentleman I was just telling you about, he's doing 3 million a year and he's getting into some wholesale. He's doing some bundles now as well, which I'll talk about more in a minute. But we're going to start you with our flagship strategy, the replens strategy. Once you've got that down, once you know how to recognize underserved listings on Amazon, you're finding some great ASINs and you're doing some tests. Some of the tests are working out great, some not so great. You learn how to walk away from things that maybe you were excited about last week, but now the numbers don't make sense. You're getting those basic skills of pursuing opportunity, looking at everything through the lens of, is this a profitable activity? How profitable is it? How much time should I spend here based on that metric? Profits drive your business. Once we've driven that into you, now you're ready for some of the other really exciting opportunities. And let me just go through some of the things that we have lined up coming. We covered a lot of this in our recent virtual conference. As I'm recording this just a few days ago, we had a virtual conference for 3 days. We had about 20 sessions where the leaders on our team said, hey, here's what I'm doing in the fourth quarter. Here's what I'm excited about next year. Here's what's working really, really well for me right now. Some of the most successful students and leaders, content creators, coaches on our team sharing those ideas. It's incredible content. I was making notes and learning incredible tips as we went. I'll give you one example that I learned. I didn't know about this. I've used Keepa a ton, probably as much as anybody on our team or anyone in the world, but it never occurred to me to do this. This was Greg on our team. I'll tell you more about him in a second, Greg Webb. But he said, hey, open up Keepa, look at the most popular 100 or 200 toys on Amazon right now. It's easy to find those, and set up an alert inside of Keepa that says, if Amazon runs out of inventory on any of those toys, even temporarily, you need to rush out right now and buy all of them that you can, because they're going to be gold. That's a great idea. Keepa can give you alerts on that kind of thing. You knew that, right? Keepa can alert you, hey, Amazon's just run out of inventory, or the price has just dropped to a certain point, or it's just risen to a certain point, right? Keepa was originally designed to help people who are shopping know when prices dropped below a point where they wanted to go buy the item. Well, the seller community embraced it, and we by far use it way more than frugal shoppers do. And we find opportunity using the tool. That's a lot of the proven Amazon course training, is teaching you how to use Keepa as an opportunity finding tool. But I'd never heard that concept before. That's just one of dozens and dozens of great tips. If you want to get that 3-day conference, good news, if you're a proven Amazon course student, it's free. So there's never been a better time to just go to provenamazoncourse.com, get the course, get into the replens training, check out the 3-day virtual event that just happened here a few days ago in early October of 2023. Go through that content. You're going to get so many great ideas. So that's a great tip right there as we're heading into the fourth quarter of 2023. So I told you about Greg, and that leads me into a conversation I have now about why I'm so optimistic about the future of this community, the ideas that we're working on 2023 as it wraps up, going into 2024, e-commerce, Amazon, multiple streams of income. Why am I so excited? Well, let's talk about Greg. He's doing a bunch of Legos, man. This guy has got Legos dialed in. We're launching a course soon, and he doesn't just flip Legos. No, he buys and holds Legos strategically, specifically the ones that are about to be discontinued. He's got a real system for which ones should be ignored, which ones are hot, which ones you can buy and hold for 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year, and then flip on eBay or Walmart or Amazon and do really, really well. He's gone really deep. He's got a system. He's never shared this system except with a few friends in a small group, that he's going to share it with us now. And there's such an expansive idea. If you get over to provenbrickinvesting.com, you'll be able to check out that episode of, or excuse me, that offer. And we haven't launched it yet as I'm recording this. It may have launched by the time you hear this. So get over there. If it hasn't launched yet, get on the alert list. If it has launched, get in that class. Greg presented at our last conference last year, did a tremendous job. A lot of people really respect and love what he's built. He's built a beautiful business, a very profitable business. He's a very laid back, easygoing guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's a great leader on our team, and it's a pleasure to work with him. So provenbrickinvesting.com. You definitely want to go be part of that. Why else am I excited? We got our Amazon influencer program training coming. AZinfluencer.com is the website. I'll stick all these links in the show notes, by the way. You don't have to write down notes furiously. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, look for the show notes. Go to silentjimdotcom and look for the link to this episode. You'll see all the links I'm talking about today. We have people who are making simple videos demonstrating products that they already have around the house, that they already like, things that they've used, throwing those videos on Amazon. You don't have to drive any traffic to this video. Amazon hosts the video. If shoppers watch your video and that helps them make a purchase, as evidenced by they put it in their cart after watching your video, you're going to get it paid. We've got people making several $100s a week for having just made a few videos. That was one of the presentations at the virtual conference that I referenced earlier. Remember I told you about theprovenconference.com virtual that happened early October? One of the presentations was about the Amazon influencer program. And it's easy to get into the Amazon influencer program. Making money with it, you kind of need to know what you're doing. Having some people around you who are doing really well with the program is going to help you a ton. And we'd love to help you start to make some simple videos with your phone, upload them onto Amazon and get paid to do it. And we've got some people on our team who really know their stuff. They're doing well. They're making about $8 a month per video that they upload as a general average, right? So that just gives you a feel for what's possible. You one day sit down, crank out 4 or 5 videos. That's $8 a month per video, $40 per month going forward. It scales up and down. It's going to vary a little bit, but that's just on average. If you're doing it the way that they've taught it, that they're going to be teaching it, you're going to be able to do that. Again, is this open to everybody? No, some people can't do it, but most of our community will be able to do it. So just another great opportunity that's coming your way. We've got the training that I haven't talked a lot about that I think some people are going to be excited about, where we're going to help you set up a small local retail location and do well with it. Because if you're selling online, almost all of us end up with what we call a death pile, or a pile of stuff we don't know what to do with. So I have a yard sale. What do I do? Do I donate it? Well, what if you had a little retail operation? What's involved with that? Have you ever considered that before? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You're not competing with Walmart, but there are people in our community, they're doing really well. Actually, they're making more money now as they've scaled out on retail than they are with Amazon, because they're good at finding products that people want. They're good at knowing what's in demand. The skills that they've learned through their e-commerce proven Amazon course training has helped them identify those products that, hey, more people want this and it's harder to find and there's profit potential here. Those are the skills you're going to learn. So maybe it's time to open a little retail. We've got that training coming, not for everybody again, but for a lot of people. We've got prep center training coming soon. We've got a lot of international students who want to be able to buy inventory in the United States. They want to be able to sell that inventory in the United States without ever having to touch it or ship it overseas. Well, what do they need? They need someone that can manage that inventory for them, right? That's an expanding market. Amazon's growing. The number of sellers who are selling successfully on Amazon are growing. As evidenced, again, The guest I'm about to have on our show at the end here for a couple minutes is going to talk about a specific example. But sellers who are doing it the right way, their businesses are growing. And there's a need for more prep centers. The opportunity is getting bigger, not smaller. So that's something we're going to talk you through. Maybe you just help 3 or 5 sellers manage their inventory. Maybe you just got some extra space in your garage. How do you do that? What systems do you use? How does that monetize? It's not the perfect business model because newsflash, that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the perfect business model. If you're making a profit, margin monsters are coming. They're going to want some of it. But this is certainly in demand. Future is bright. The demand is far higher than the supply. Good prep centers are just getting swamped with clients. That's an indicator that, yeah, there's opportunity there. Next, bundles. I can't believe that's so far down my list, but we've got a lot of people doing really well creating branded bundles, provenbrandedbundles.com. That class has been rocking for several sessions now. You could jump in, it's not too late. You can get all that content. If you're a proven Amazon course student or a coaching student, there's a big discount on that course. But basically, it teaches you how to create bundles of products that, just like you may have heard our interview here, it's probably by the time this episode comes out, 10 or 12 episodes ago, I did an interview with Kim Shanahan, who's built a beautiful business using special needs adults who put recognized brand snacks, brands that you'd probably recognize, and they put them into gift baskets. And she's built $1 million business. Amazon actually highlighted her business at the latest Amazon Accelerate event as one of the big success stories, which tells me a few things. Amazon loves resellers. Amazon loves branded bundles. Amazon highlighted her as a success story, and no one is teaching branded bundle strategy as dialed in as we are. We really have built a beautiful system that answers all your questions. You want to be cautious. You want to do it the right way. We can help you through the gray areas, even where Amazon is kind of unclear on what the exact policy is. We got people doing it at scale on hand to teach you. Provenbrandedbundles.com is that website. Huge discount for coaching and proven Amazon course students, like I said. And if you're thinking to yourself, man, that's a lot of courses. How am I going to learn all this stuff? No, we're not proposing that anyone learn all of it. We're just saying that there are some great pivot point opportunities for you once you have that foundation and you understand the basics. There's so many different opportunities. I don't know of anyone who's pursuing all of them, with the exception of, if you look at Nathan and I, my coaching director and I, we've been together for 20 years. Between the two of us, we're doing every model that I've discussed so far at scale. Either we are or someone directly working with us is doing all these models in a serious way. And certainly, if you look at our coaching team, we've got dozens of people who are doing at least 2 or 3 of these in combination. Because remember, we're on multiple income streams. That's our approach. That's our philosophy here. We want multiple income streams. We want to know that if something starts to not work, we've got a fallback plan. When you start, however, you focus on bolting down just the basics. But as you grow, you keep your profitable systems bolted down with good people and good systems, and then you add more to the machine. So you've got multiple streams of income. While you're not working harder, you're just managing the great leaders who are helping to run those different parts of their machine. That's my business model. I work with about 105 people who help run those different machines for me, with me, and they benefit very much so, every bit as much as I do. That's the way I work with partners. They're going to benefit more than I do at every step of the way. That's how you build a beautiful machine. All right, so we talked about prep centers, talked about bundles, wholesale, more good information coming there. I'm not going to dive into it. We've got beautiful content inside the Proven Amazon course that steps you through how to do wholesale through a replens lens. There's opportunity everywhere. Don't let anyone tell you there's not. It's easy to find people who say, yeah, we're not looking for any more Amazon sellers. It's also, with the right skill set, easy to find people who are desperate for the help of knowledgeable Amazon sellers. And they want to work with you and they're excited to get you into their business. I had a conversation 2 days ago with someone who's tried Amazon, not interested, just didn't work out. I'm like, hey, well, what if we took a stab at it? How about we helped you? Yeah, man, no reason not to. I mean, if you make me more money, happy to give you some of it. Those people are everywhere. They're wholesalers or distributors. You just got to learn how to look, have the right conversations. So great training inside the Proven Amazon course on that. That's not even mentioning the proven product partnering strategy, which I just kind of alluded to. That's training inside of the Proven Amazon course as well. That's already there. That's just approaching brands who are struggling on Amazon, which is most brands, if you didn't know, because they don't know what to do with Amazon. It's not the easiest company to work with. That's why there's opportunity. Because remember, we've said many times here, if there's opposition anywhere, this goes for anywhere in your life. If there's opposition, if there's pushback, if there's friction, that means there's opportunity. That means the weak people are being scared away right now. That means there's a lot of people with a lot of questions. That means there's opportunity for you to step in and be the guy who knows how to get things going in the right direction. So there's a lot of friction between brands and Amazon right now. You can make a lot of money stepping in and helping navigate those waters and get paid very, very well. That was another one of the sessions, by the way, that we really went in deep on some of the great leaders on our team who have built a beautiful business, serving dozens and dozens and dozens of brands, making great predictable income every month, low pressure, just helping solve simple problems. Sometimes there's challenges. Worst case scenario is, sorry, client, we can't help you. I guess you'll have to stop paying us. But the vast majority of the time, with the basic skill set that you have, just as a listener to this podcast, you can be very helpful to a lot of brands. So, one of the sessions at our virtual conference, just from just a few days ago, that content now is free for you as a Proven Amazon course student. Remember, it's the virtual 2023 conference. It's inside the Proven Amazon course learning portal right now. Go check it out. Was with Abe, and he talked about how they've scaled up their PPP, proven product partnering, and they've got more business and they know what to do with. All kinds of referrals coming in. It was a great story that he shared. And keep in mind too, this is a guy who was doing construction just a few years ago, never used a computer, never done any e-commerce. Now he's killing it. So you have no excuses. Some more training, and this is by no means comprehensive. I'm just running out of time. Getting into discontinued products could be huge. There are sellers in our community that all they're doing is paying attention to what products are about to be discontinued, and they go buy a bunch of it. Then they wait for it to be discontinued and they sell it on Amazon. Now, is it that simple? It can't be that simple, Jim. Well, no, it's not that simple, because you got to make sure the product has a loyal audience, that it has a good track record on Amazon, that it truly is about to be discontinued and not just kind of rebranded in the same things on the shelf. You've got to know what you're doing, but that's some training that we've got coming as well in 2024. And here's the good news. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like, wow, that's a lot of different trainings, Jim. I don't think I can take all that. Let me remind you, we don't want you to take all that training, but you are going to find all those modules inside the Proven Amazon course, because over time, we're constantly dripping in new training, new strategies. We're pulling out stuff that doesn't work anymore. We're tweaking it. We're adjusting it, which if you're a Proven Amazon course student and you find something that doesn't look right, like, wait, I think that website's changed. Let us know. Happy to fix it. We're updating it constantly. There's 100 of us that keep the Proven Amazon course rocking and rolling, looking good for our user base. And that's you. We're here to serve you with excellence. The future looks very, very bright. And hopefully I've just convinced you, if what you're doing right now is a little frustrating or it's not quite working, it's worth sticking with it, because the future is so bright for Amazon, for e-commerce, for that skill set that you're building right now. The path forward, to borrow a bit of wisdom from Jim Rohn, I believe is the one. I need to probably look this up because I use this quote all the time, but he basically said the only difference between who you are now and who you'll be in, say, 3 or 5 years is the content you're consuming and the people you're surrounding yourself with. Hey, if you're going to surround yourself with some really good people, I suggest Business Building Warriors from our community. You can get into our free Facebook group and you can find people who live near you, set up Zoom calls, or just set up live meetups. You need community. Don't do it alone. Surround yourself with other really, really high quality people who are working hard, building businesses, loving their families. That's the kind of people that you want to be around. And fill your head with good content. This podcast is free. Our Facebook group is free. My book, The Silent Sales Machine, the 11th version, I've written that thing 11 times, had 1,100 5-star reviews on Amazon, but we're giving it away free still. All you have to do is text the word free to the phone number I'm about to give you. I'll stick it in the show notes too. There's an email link option as well. But if you want it right now, just get out your phone, type in this phone number, 507-800-0090. Text the word free to that number. I'll send you the full version of that book. It's the combined knowledge and lessons from this community over the past 20 plus years of e-commerce success, with thousands of success story students, hundreds of them we've interviewed on this podcast. So we've got that for you. We've got the Proven Amazon course, which is a great next step if you're ready to dive in and do this thing the right way. We've got our coaching team. There's a link at silentjimdotcom. Just have a conversation with us. It's a low pressure, friendly conversation. We want you to succeed, and you will know that very quickly. This isn't a sales pitch where we're going to hit you like, hey, you got to sign up to get any value around here, buddy. No, this is we want you to succeed. Maybe you need free resources. Maybe the $39 a month proven Amazon course is all you're ever going to need. That's great. Maybe you want to coach. Maybe you want to go further faster with one of the proven leaders on our team who's built a beautiful business and they love working with other sellers at any stage. Maybe you're at $1 million a month and you want to get to 3 million a month. We've got people in our network that are playing at that level. One of the top 5 grocery items on Amazon is one of our clients, one of our students. We know people that play at a high level around here. We also know people who are trying to decide if they really want to do this or not. They've never made any money online, everything in between. We'd love to have a conversation with you. So go to the coaching link at silentjim.com, grab a slot. Let's chat. What's the worst that could happen? We're going to give you some great free stuff, give you some good advice. We'd love to have that conversation with you. All right. Well, before I let you go, we're going to bounce over. I recorded a little mini segment that I think tacks on very nicely today. So I'm going to kind of reintroduce myself. I apologize in advance, but you're going to enjoy this time. It's a conversation with my friends from ACRWME who help fund Amazon sellers. He's going to give you some very specific advice about when you need to add funds to your business and when you shouldn't, and what it looks like to use ACRWME specifically with the unique offer that they have. So enjoy that time, and I'll bounce over to that introduction now. Well, hey, thanks for joining us for today's episode of Silent Sales Machine Radio. But before I let you go, I've got a treat for you. It's one of the great friends of the community around here that's been helping sellers in our community succeed for several years now. You've seen them at some of our events. I'm talking about ACRWME. I've got Mr. Sam Koch from ACRWME with me now, and he's going to go over some tips on funding your business. What do you got for us, man?
Hey, Jim. Yeah, thanks for having us. And it was really great seeing you guys in Columbus, Ohio last year and seeing some of our partners that we already invested in from the community. Yeah, so we're excited to work with some more of the sellers in your network. And really what I just wanted to go over was when you're growing and scaling your business, when's the right time to take on funding for your business, some of the different options out there, some of the key mistakes to avoid when scaling your business. And then we'll actually talk about one of the partners that's from your network, the Silent Sales Machine, and how they grew and scaled tremendously within the last 2 years. They had a great strategy. We just provided the capital and they ran with it. And we'll go through that and we'll talk a little bit more about ACRWME. So we'll just jump in
sounds
with
great, man. And again, you guys have helped many students in our community scale, which is why we've, those are the people that we like to bring into our show, bring into the community, the ones that are actually helping our sellers succeed. You guys certainly fit that bill. Appreciate you guys very much, and let's keep growing together. All right, now let's dive into it because that's good content. I'm going to learn something. It sounds like.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's we really like work with people that have worked with you because they do have a profitable business model, and really their biggest problems are just looking for more capital to grow. So again, we'll go over when is the right time to take on more capital, some of the mistakes to avoid when growing, and an actual case study. So when's the right time to take on additional capital? So after you've learned how to sell on Amazon, you've listed products, you've started getting sales, you're profitable, that's when it's the right time to take on more money and you have more opportunities. So the key number one is making sure you're making a net profit. We talk to a lot of sellers from all over the world and from different communities. And the most important thing is knowing that you're profitable. The worst thing you can do is take on more money if you're not making a profit, unless you have a very specific plan for how you're going to turn that around. So number one, make sure you're profitable, make sure you're making money so you can scale and profitably. Number two, you have to have more opportunities. So whether that's using the RA model, you just have so many more opportunities than you do cash. You have to be able to deploy the money to make more profit and make more sales. You might want to expand markets. I'll go through the case study. Our partner expanded to different marketplaces off Amazon, which was a tremendous growth opportunity for him. And the same partner that we're going to talk about from the Silent Sales Machine community also wanted to experiment with new models, but he had a very specific plan that he wanted to do and didn't take too much risk. And we'll go into that. So those are when's the time to take on to take on additional capital. Now, some of the mistakes to avoid, and we work with hundreds of sellers, so we've seen pretty much everything you could imagine. We get really into the numbers and we see, what has happened to people that have not scaled or have had problems with their business. So number one is a lack of diversification. We'll see people buy way too much of one product, and then,
Right.
God forbid something happens where an Amazon comes in, shuts down their listing, they're stuck with 10, 20, $100,000 worth of one
Yes.
product. And, you pretty much, you have a real problem. You can recover,
We call
but
that the inch wide, mile deep approach to Amazon, which 95% of the time from our experience goes wrong if you're new. So we don't even teach it. We spend a lot of time talking people out of going down that road because there's a lot of voices out there saying that's the way to go on Amazon. And unfortunately, based on, my 14 years of experience, man, that is not the way to go. I love the diversification. We call it the inch deep, mile wide approach. I'm going to put a little bit of money into a bunch of different products. And as some of them start to take off, I'm going to go a little deeper. And then I'm going to find myself needing some funding as I start to test these waters. So, yeah, I love that. That's something I love about you guys, Sam, is the way you guys fund and what you're looking for is so in alignment with what we teach and the kind of students we're cranking out.
yeah, and we appreciate that. And that's why we love working with guys from your community, because you teach them the right way to do things and not just what's the kind of cool, you know,
Flashy.
thing that flashy thing. It's like, this is how you really grow a business and this is how you scale a business so you can change your life, your family's life. And, we just provide the capital. We rely on sellers to do most of the work. We just provide capital where you don't have to pay it back. You decide when to do that and you just grow it and scale it. So that's number one. That's probably the biggest key. And we love that that's a big part of your teaching. Non-compliant listings. So we always, we've seen people that will do something that it might not be, it risks suspension. And the one thing you can really shut down your business if you do something that might not be totally above board, or you buy from a supplier, double check who your supplier is. Make sure you have all the backup documentation that you need to make sure the listing's clean. You're going to get on. You're going to have no problem with Amazon because nobody wants a suspension. It's just going to slow you down and can lead to, potentially your business, going away. So another one is taking on too much capital. So there are a lot of funding sources in the Amazon space, and not all of them, they'll give you a lot of capital up front based on your sales or, credit or something like that. You want to make sure you take on the right amount of capital, know what your opportunities are, that you're going to deploy it in your business. We always recommend, if you're going to, when we invest, you can use the capital for pretty much whatever you want. We're looking for people that want to invest it in their business because that's going to help them grow, make more profit. Sometimes people take on too much and they take it out and maybe buy a car or something else, which is okay, but you have to do that when you're profitable and you have it as part of a bigger financial plan. So again, taking on too much capital, we've seen bury people, and we've also seen not reinvesting the capital and taking it out lead to problems. So those are some of the key things just to avoid. And in this game, it's all about just generating a good ROI and staying alive and just keep going and not going like you said, too deep into one thing. So those are some of the common mistakes to
Yeah, I
avoid.
appreciate that perspective because you're working with people who are, doing this business every day. I think
Mhm.
we need to connect more often than we do just to hear some of those stories. What are some of those pain points? Where are sellers falling down? We love to hear the great stories. And I love in our Facebook group, we have people talking about the reality of the business all day, every day in there. We don't sugarcoat anything.
Mhm.
But there are some common themes I'm sure you guys are hearing because when the bills are due, that's where the rubber meets the road. And you're dealing with some sellers who took on bit off more than they could chew, maybe. And I'm sure you're adjusting your metrics even on like, who do we really want to give money to? You want to be cautious with your capital as as a crewmate. It's an investment for you. But I love the way you guys fund. And let me just interject for the listeners right now. If you go to silentjimdotcom/funding, you'll hear another interview that goes even more in depth with the unique way that a crewme funds sellers, not just Amazon sellers, but e-commerce sellers in general. Very unique model that, to my knowledge, no one else is using, where you can just kind of keep rolling over the benefit. And it's kind of like having, I always say, Sam, it's like having an uncle that has a lot of money. He's like, hey, here's 50 grand. Yeah, knock yourself out. Give it back to me plus some someday. I don't care when. I
Mhm.
just want to see you grow it, man. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, it's the closest thing to that arrangement that I've ever seen. And I really appreciate your guys' approach. But I just want to make sure people knew that, hey, there's more content besides just this on what makes a crew me different at
Mhm.
silentjim.com/funding. But sorry to interrupt you, man. Let's keep rocking.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And that's why for us, like you said, it's very important for us to find the right partner, because with us, we're sometimes not getting paid back for 1-2 years, which you'll see in the case study that we're going to go through. So we want to make sure we have a really good relationship, an open relationship. Any way that we can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that we've seen sellers make, we want to do that, because we're in this for the long haul, sometimes not getting paid back for 2+ years. So but when you find the right person and it's aligned, and you work with somebody from your network that knows what they're doing, you can see really tremendous results. So this is an actual partner that we invested in December of 2021. He heard, I think, the podcast, Jim, that you're referring to with Don that we did. And he was like, hey, I've never heard anything like this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm ready to scale. I figured it out. I'm profitable. I have a ton of opportunities. I want to do it in a smart way, but I need capital and I need as much cash flow as possible. So,
and I don't want payments day one or month one. I want to keep rolling that over. Yeah,
exactly. Totally right. So when we met this seller, it was December 2021. He was doing about $4,800 in profit. So clearly, if you're doing that amount of profit a month, you know what you're doing. You have a business that can scale. You just need to, keep taking to the next level. His business assets, and this is how we kind of determine how much we can invest. We look to match whatever you have in your business. So he had about $230,000 in his business, and we can invest up to that amount. But he, being a smart, sophisticated business owner from the silent sales machine and the proven network, realized I don't need all that money right now. I need 97,000. That's what I can deploy. That's what I can turn over quickly. So we invested $97,000. I think now he's a coach, and I had the pleasure of meeting him in person at the Columbus event last year, which was incredible. And we're going to be seeing you in Florida coming up here
2024.
in May.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So we're excited for that, which is going to be great. Love meeting all of our partners and all the service providers, and everything's geared around success. But anyway, so he was doing retail arbitrage, and really what he used the capital to start with, he had some loans that he wanted to pay off that were just high payments, that instead of investing in his business, he was paying back a lender every month. He didn't want to do that. So he eliminated that term loan with the high payments. He obviously bought more products. He knew exactly what he wanted to buy and to scale. And then he went to a different platform. So he was predominantly on Amazon US, and then he moved over to Walmart, and you'll see some of the results here coming up. 2 years later, he grew tremendously. So this is what happened. So we just recently divested from him. He just said, hey guys, I have so much cash on my business. I don't need any more money. So these numbers, are obviously not typical. It really depends on the most important thing is you have to know what you're doing. You're the business owner. We're just a capital provider. But now his profit last month, when I checked in September, he made $58,000 in profit in his business. So that's an enormous increase from where he was, which was still even great. And again, he might have just had a really great month, but that was his last month's profit in September. It was 1,000% increase over the 2 years before. And now his business assets increased from, I think it was like 230 to 470. So now he has a full, really profitable, tremendous business. And, how did he do that? Well, we gave him capital. He invested it smartly. He diversified. He probably did all the things that he learned from the Silent Gym Network and going to all these conferences.
Coach on our team, man. He's got some resources available to him. For sure.
Exactly. So he knows what he's doing. And he took all that knowledge. He took the capital. He didn't have to make a single payment for 2 years to us. We didn't earn, he didn't pay us back for 2 years. It all stayed in his business. He reinvested all of it. There was never a time where there was cash in the account. It was always being put out into new products. He expanded to Walmart. He did some wholesale, sourcing and started opening some new accounts. And now he's, doing what he does best, helping more people. And that's one thing we really appreciate about being part of your network is there really is that, we're here to help people. You can see with all the sponsors out there, whether it's the repricing tools or the capital providers or the, 3PLs, it's all that helping grow. And how do we, do this together? So anyway, you can see these are just some of his results. The key is you have to be willing to put in the work, learn from all your lessons, Jim, that you provided with your team, which are awesome. And, you can really, this can be a huge business. You gotta just, do the right thing. And
I love that model. I love that example you just gave. And I want to help someone may go, may think to themselves, okay, you said his business is worth 230 and now it's worth, what do you say, just under 500, something like that.
Mhm.
How do you come up with that number? It's primarily how much inventory they have on hand. Isn't
Correct.
that the bulk of it?
Correct. So it's pretty much inventory at FBA because that's the way
Mhm.
that's what our system looks at, plus his Amazon balance. So he would go from
Yep.
a Amazon balance of $20,000 a month or a settlement, and now it's upwards of 100 plus. So he's
Right.
he's doing really well. So the
Yeah.
next slide is really, how did he do this? He already had an existing profitable business, which he learned from working with your network and going to your events. He knew how to make money selling on Amazon. He had identifiable growth opportunities, which is why he needed the money. He took the action to actually, make it happen and do it. And we invested about $100,000. He didn't make any payments for 2 years. And if there's anything that we could do to help him, we were always there to get on a call. And he knew Amazon very well. But if we needed something like, hey, what do you think about this for my cash flow, my financing? What do you think? I'm always happy to jump on a call with any of our partners and try to help them, because the better you do, the better we do. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. I another thing I love about that is you guys did small business funding forever, and one of the things I love about telling the ACRWME story is, your founder had basically retired from the entire industry and was, enjoying life, but he saw this huge opportunity specifically with Amazon sellers whose biggest struggle was they need funding. They're finding more opportunity than they have money for, and it was so appealing that you guys jumped into that market and started serving. And it was at this point, many, many great stories have come from it. So he paid you guys back after a couple of years, the 97, I think you said that you'd given him, plus a percentage of his growth. That's how you guys work. And you would be happy to, I'm sure, to jump on the phone and talk through the details of that. But you guys get a piece of the growth. It's kind of like sink or swim together model. I really like that about the way you guys have built this out. And just appreciate it so much, man. Appreciate your partnership, your sponsorship, and keep up the great work, man. Was there anything else that you wanted to go over before we start to wind down?
no, I think that was pretty much it. And we love working with guys from your network, Jim. We always appreciate you giving us the opportunity to be part of your network and serve and work with some of your other business owners in your network. So yeah, if you're a profitable seller now, you're gearing up for Q4, you have some opportunities, you're profitable, and you think this might be able, and you can be another success story. We'd love for you to, like Jim said, go to silentjimdotcom/funding. Just click the get funded link. You'll talk to myself or someone else on the team. Will walk you through everything, and we'll see if it's a good fit. And if it is, we'll hopefully be back here in 2 years with numbers like this for your business. So
Absolutely,
that's all
man.
I got.
Love it. Always good to see you, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys in Orlando. Theprovenconference.com is the event. ACRWME is going to be there along with so many of the great partners in our community. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again, always connecting. And hopefully you guys leave having a breakout session or something at the event where people can really sit down and pick through these options with you guys while they're there with us in Orlando. But good to see you, Sam. Say hey to the team. Appreciate you guys so much, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Really appreciate it.
Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon. See you.
See you.